Hello, this is Tim Law with Planet Forward Coaching and Self-Reliance You. Always remember your life, your dreams, your goals, and your career are all essential. A big thank you to over 400 people that have subscribed to this channel, Planet Forward Coaching. If you haven't already, please do so. Would be much appreciated. Always remember as well that whatever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. So I'm really, really happy to be speaking with a gentleman today who I'm actually just getting to meet right now through Antonio Rizzuto, the Northeastern and now Towson Division I basketball player, who's introduced me to Micah Myers. So Micah, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself, my man.
Thank you, Mr. Law. I appreciate it. So yeah, like you said, Antonio Rizzuto, he's actually one of my employees that works for me, as well as he dates my sister Hannah. So we have a lot of connections there. But yeah, so this is my second year in business. I have a lawn and landscape business, Myers-Lawn-Landscaping. And we pretty much provide work to the York and Lancaster areas around here. Do anything from mowing, tree removal, landscaping, shrub pruning, hardscape, patios, a little bit of everything. We're very diverse in that spectrum as far as our work goes.
How many people work with you, Micah?
So I have 2 full-time employees, and then Antonio is actually a part-time employee of mine, and count him going to school throughout the summer and whatnot.
Sure.
Yep. So 3 employees, 2 full-time, one part-time.
Okay, great, fantastic. And what kind of diameter does your business go? I mean, how many miles? Obviously, it doesn't make sense for you to go to Pittsburgh or something, but what kind of area? How far generally will you travel for your business?
So I stay within 25 minutes of the Helm exit on Route 30.
Okay.
That's like a central point for me, and I'll go 25 minutes, all around there, any direction. So yeah, I try to keep within that. Mowing, I stay a little bit tighter. I stay sort of 20 to 15 minutes.
Sure.
Just because I can't get to everyone at one time. But yeah, so I try for that. I go a little bit farther sometimes if I have somebody that really would like my service. No farther than probably 35 minutes. And account for landscaping only. No mowing. I don't go any farther than that.
Sure. No, that makes sense. What if you could say your ideal client or customer, as far as let's say the size of the job, that kind of thing. As far as, let's say, mowing or pruning or that type, that obviously if you're doing a bigger job like landscaping, hardscaping, that makes a little difference as far as, making it more worth your while to go a little further. So what would you say your ideal client or customer is, Micah?
Really landscaping, as far as shrub pruning, bed cleaning up and mulching. That's like our ideal thing. That's our bread and butter, what we're kind of known for.
Okay.
That's what I grew up doing. And then actually the past 2 years I've learned how to do all the mowing and stuff. And I do have a background in hardscape as well. But yeah, so our ideal customer is, we come in, trim the shrubs, edge everything, weed it. Maybe they want a few new plants put in, plant them, and then install mulch, clean up. And that's our we call them quick hitters, kind of.
Sure.
You're only there for a day or two. Total transformation before and afters is what really gets neighbors and other people that see my work. That's how I get a lot of work through that.
Right. And you have a website too?
Yep. I have a website, Myers-Lawn-Landscape.
Okay. MYERS.
Correct.
Lawnandlandscaping.com.
Yep. And then you can look that up on Google as well.
Okay. And a phone number for you. And I'm going to make sure you give me all that, to put it at the article that I put in here. But what's the good phone number for them to reach you?
717-893-3857.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm pretty accessible. And if you can't get me by there, I have my email on the listing as well.
Sure.
If you want to shoot me an email. So, yep.
Yeah, we'll make sure I have that all on the written part of this video. Tell us a little about your basketball background, Micah.
So I've been playing basketball. I'm entering my senior year now at Eastern York High School. I've been I've been part of the varsity team for 3 years. I never actually played JV even as a freshman. My freshman year was a pretty cool year. I was around a good all around athletes. I don't know if many people, you probably know him. DeMont Martin went to Eastern. He now goes to Robert Morris for football. Bryce Hennies ended up following him to Robert Morris to play lacrosse. I was around all those guys. Trevor Seitz. I played with all those guys my freshman year. We made a really good run. Won our division. Went to state. I mean, that was a great experience.
Sure.
Then my sophomore year was a good year as well. We made a good run. We didn't win our division, but we made a run into districts and states again. Now last year wasn't a spectacular year for us. It's a growing year because we lost a lot of seniors.
Yeah, well, plus COVID and everything, toward the tail end of that year. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. That played a huge factor in last year's season.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily we had a season. If you would have approached us last year, March probably wouldn't have even thought we had a season coming. So we're
Sure.
very grateful for that. But yeah, and then this year, it's going to be an exciting year for me, especially. I have the chance to do some things that not many people get to do. Possibly, some different records that I could set. So it's exciting.
Very cool. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. The idea that you're as deep into sports as you are, as well as having your own business and work and everything. Obviously, you're a hustler and a go-getter in a very good way. Because one of the things that's concerned me, just observing this whole COVID thing, as well as the amount of nonstop usage of the gaming and the social media or whatever, it's a welcome, refreshing thing to meet somebody like yourself or Antonio or Fred Mulba, who I'm sure you know as well.
Yep.
You guys are all, go-getters. You really got those strong desires to really, really go after it, basically. And what would be some advice you would give to, let's say, some young up-and-comers that, if they want to accomplish more things as far as their life is concerned, like you guys are doing?
I think the biggest thing is just to see the light at the end of the tunnel. For me, I love getting up every day, going to work, doing what I like to do, but it's because I see the bigger picture. I see when I do a job, I can make somebody, they come home and see their yard and they're like, wow, they're excited. So I think the biggest thing is just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And for me, building something to then one day, sell off and be able to look back on it and say, wow, I did that. You know what I mean? And, so yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. And once you just get a little taste of that, it's addicting,
Sure.
It becomes a lifestyle more or less.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, I wouldn't change anything.
Well, and it certainly sounds like you've got a good idea, great attitude on being able to create value for other people. And
Absolutely.
when you create that value for other people, the feedback you get is just, it's phenomenal for sure. How about some of the main role models, Micah, that you've had as far as your life is concerned, people that have helped you along the way, different things that, that people that you look up to that, kind of gave you a hand up?
Yeah. Well, definitely my parents. They're the hardest workers I know. So, they taught me everything I know. My older brother, he's 8 years older than me, and he showed me the ropes for all the landscaping and everything, even in sports. He was a hard worker in sports, and that's my motto in life, is just to work hard.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple guys in the industry. Actually, Bill Zach with Turn Over a New Leaf Landscaping. He's been a huge mentor for me. Brian Fullerton, he's a big YouTube guy. In the landscape spectrum, and he's where I would like to be one day. So
Sure.
I always look up to those guys and appreciate all the value that they provide with me, because it's a community out there, to be honest with you, in the trade.
Sure. And what would you say between sports and your work and everything? And I always like to delve into this, because to me, the most important thing about sports or band, music, extracurricular, getting involved with something, the most important thing to me are the life lessons. If somebody's got the talent and the goods to possibly make the major leagues in whatever sport and or the Olympics, hey, that's awesome. But the reality is, and I always use this example with, your baseball players, one guy out of 8,000 is going to make the major leagues in baseball. And the odds are even greater against the person, let's say in basketball, which I think is the toughest league to make just because of the small numbers. So to me, the most important thing, again, are the life lessons. What would say between work and basketball, the life lessons that have really hit you?
I think if I had two words, would be hard work and adversity. You face both of those things in sports and, the real world work. There's always a thing in basketball where I wasn't always the fastest, tallest, strongest guy. So you had to outwork everybody, and fight through the adversity, because it's going to happen to you at some point or another in life,
Sure.
So I think, just being able to just put your head down and go and stay focused through those times, would be the biggest thing. And even in work, you can't make everybody happy as much as you try to, in the work front. You're not going to be able to please everybody. So just working hard and just keeping your mind focused would be the biggest thing I would have to say.
Yeah, no, I really like that. And the idea of having to deal with adversity. There's a saying that I learned many, many years ago by a guy. He's a guy named Brian Tracy. And he had a great saying, and it fits exactly what you're saying. He says, never wish for things to be easier, always work to make yourself stronger. Because we do have control over making ourselves stronger physically, mentally, emotionally. We really don't have control over what life throws at us. We got to have to deal with it, step up to it, deal with that adversity, as you so well said. I really like your comment on that. That is so very, very true. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Any before we conclude here a little bit, Micah, any last second thoughts? And please hang out after we get done here. I'd like to chat with you for a minute or two afterwards. But any last second thoughts that you have regarding either your business or basketball or both, or anything that comes to your mind there?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, especially for kids nowadays, or even adults, is just finding what you like to do in life, whether that's in the sports field or the work field. When you find what you like to do, it's awesome. There's not very many people that can wake up and go to work and say, man, I love what I'm doing. So if you can find that and you have the ability to do that, even if it's not necessarily easy at first, I think that's a big thing. I was fortunate to find it out at a young age. And I don't know what different people's opinions are on college or not going, but if even what you do doesn't require you to go to school, I think that's a big thing too, of feeling accepted and stuff like that. So that's like a goal of mine that I always had, to find what I like to do. And like I said, I was very fortunate to find that, and I would love to see other people do that too, because life's short. So.
Yes. Well, it's interesting when I do some of these interviews, how I hear that idea of, people, developing their passion, pursuing their dreams and goals, that kind of thing. And a lot of it is just kind of reflecting and thinking about, what is it I like to do? I can remember my mom, when I was a teenager, said, Tim, it's just as important to find out what you don't want to do as it is to find out what you do want to do. And that was great advice that she gave me during my teenage years. And, like I say, it puts you on a pathway as far as your passion is concerned. So
absolutely. Yep. 100%. Couldn't agree more.
Well said. Well, Micah, this has been awesome. Please hang for a couple minutes here or so once I conclude this. And I appreciate your words of wisdom very, very much. You're wise beyond your years, and I'm very impressed.
No, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to get on here and speak. It's a pleasure.
Okay. Well, thank you. And just hang out here. Okay.
All right. Will do.